Hi guys, Gary from Gary Games, and it pains me to make this video, but Bungie, the creators of the Halo and Destiny franchise, announced on Twitter it's going to be laying off 17% of its workforce. That is also on top of the 8% that they laid off either earlier this year or late last year, which brings a total of 25% of its workforce, which is fucking crazy. What's even crazier, this comes after the launch of the Final Shape, their big expansion, wrapping up the 10-year saga of Destiny, which by all accounts was a great success. But that just goes to show you, no matter how well you do, you remember you're just another cog in the machine, and these big giant corporations don't give two fucks about you. Hell, some employees didn't even find out they were laid off until the actual Twitter post was posted, and some people lost their entire teams at Bungie. The announcement comes from Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie, who joined the company back in 2002. He put a statement out saying, and I quote, "This morning I'm sharing with all of you some of the most difficult changes we've ever had to make at this studio. Due to rising costs of development and industry shifts as well as enduring economic conditions, it has become clear that we need to make a substantial change to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. That means beginning today, 220 of our roles will be eliminated, representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce. These actions will affect every level of our company, including most of our executive and senior lead roles. Today is a difficult and painful day, especially for our departing colleagues, all of which have made important and valuable contributions to Bungie. Our goal is to support the team with the utmost care and respect. For everyone affected by the job reduction, we will be offering a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and health coverage. I realize all this is hard news, especially following the success we have seen with the Final Shape. But as we navigate the broader economic realities over the last year, and after exhausting all other mitigation options, this has become a necessary decision to refocus our studio and businesses with more realistic goals and viable financials. We are committing to two other major changes today that we believe will support our focus, leverage Sony's strengths, and create new opportunities for Bungie talent. First, we are deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, working to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 12% into SIE over the next few quarters. SIE has worked tirelessly with us to identify roles for as many of our people as possible, enabling us together to save a great deal of talent that would otherwise have been affected by the reduction in force. Second, we are working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of our incubated projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development. This will be a time of tremendous change for our studio. Let's unpack how we ended up in this position. It's important to understand how we got here. For over 5 years, it's been our goal to ship games in 3 enduring global franchises. To realize that ambition, we set up several incubation projects, each seated with senior development leaders from our existing teams. We eventually realized this model stretched our talent too thin too quickly. It also forced our studio support structure to scale to a larger level than we could realistically support, given our 2 primary products in development, Destiny and Marathon. Additionally, in 2023, our rapid expansion ran headlong into a broad economic slowdown, a sharp downturn in the game industry, our quality missed with Destiny 2 Lightfall, and the need to get both the Final Shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both projects deliver at the quality our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious, our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running into the red. After this new trajectory became clear, we knew we had to change our course and speed, and we did everything we could to avoid today's outcome. Even with extensive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product team to resolve our financial challenges, these steps were simply not enough. As a result, today we must say goodbye to incredible talent, colleagues, and friends. This will be a challenging time at Bungie, and we will need to help our team navigate these changes in the weeks and months ahead. This will be a hard week, and we know that our team will need time to process, to ask questions, and absorb this news. Today and over the next several weeks, we will host team meetings and town halls, team breakout sessions, and private individual sessions to ensure we are keeping our communications open and transparent. Bungie will continue to make great games. We still have over 850 members building a Destiny Marathon, and we will continue to build amazing experiences that exceed our players' expectations. There will be time to talk about our goals and projects, but today is not that day. Today, our focus is on supporting our people, Pete." Unquote. So it looks like Bungie was spreading its talent too thin, with one group working on the Destiny franchise, another developing Marathon, and another one developing a new IP described as an action game set in a brand new sci-fi fantasy universe. And it also sounds like they may have canceled a few games that were in early development, like in the incubation period. So speaking of that sci-fi fantasy game, it looks like they're going to be opening up a PlayStation Studio to help further develop that game. They're also integrating 155 roles into SIE, which shows that PlayStation's absolutely taken over control of Bungie and will probably be calling the shots from now on. Jeff Grubb of Giant Bomb, a reliable leaker in the game industry, has put out a tweet saying that Herman Hulst is now running Bungie, and I believe soon this will just be another PlayStation Studio. I mean, Sony spent $3 billion buying the studio, and they want the return on their investment. And apparently Project Payback, a sort of Destiny 3 or some kind of spiritual successor to the Destiny franchise, has been put on ice as of now. This whole acquisition of Bungie was just a bad deal for Sony, and they had no real legitimate reason to buy them. I feel this all stems from Jim Ryan's reign when he tried to steer the company away from third-person story-driven games to a more focus on live service games with the purchase of Bungie Firewalk, and the now canceled live service Last of Us game. I believe this angered the higher ups at PlayStation because after overseeing the launch of the PS5, buying studios, and shifting already owned studios to focus in a more live service aspect, he announced that he was retiring out of nowhere. The rumor is he was forced out for trying to change the company into too much of a live service company. And they way overpaid for Bungie. A lot of people believe they only purchased Bungie because it was a more panic reaction after Xbox bought ABK. And the new studio that they bought outright, Firewalk, their game Conquered, looks like it's going to be a big flop, and they even canceled the live service online Last of Us game. It doesn't matter what the presidential administration says, we are in a really bad recession and inflation is through the roof. Don't look at me, I voted for the orange guy. Which means everything is skyrocketed, from the cost of labor to the cost of development. Not to mention that most of these companies way overhired during the pandemic and everybody was trapped inside and nothing to do, so everyone was buying up games and playing video games. And these people that were hired during the pandemic at these tech and gaming companies, their roles were no longer needed because people were not spending the money like they were during the pandemic, and now they're starting to slash their workforce. It also doesn't help that Bungie's in Seattle, which is an extremely expensive city and costs a ton of money to live and operate in. This just sucks on so many levels. I hope that everyone affected can find employment soon.